you know, you broke down in Black Labor, White Wealth, I believe, where you were actually talking about other institutions that owe Black people reparations, not just the government. You talked about the Catholic Church. You know, I think a lot of these universities owe reparations, et cetera. They definitely owe reparations for what they did to y'all on them student loans. A lot of y'all gonna die in debt from the loans. That right there, that right there is one. That's the latest robbery. But even going deeper than that, it seems like there are other institutions outside the federal government that owe reparations to Black folks, particularly the Catholic Church. Can you kind of speak on that just a second before you go? I know that we were almost done, but I had to ask you about that one if you don't mind.
It'll be a pleasure, Dr. White, because see, historically, there was always slavery, always going back to, I guess, back to BC time. There are always forms of slavery, but slavery is always typically based on one of three things. You can be enslaved based on personal indebtedness, or you can be enslaved because of being a prisoner of war, or you can become enslaved based on religious persecution. That stayed true, let's say, from BC all the way up until about 1445, but 1448 in that general time span. When I told you before, Henry the Navigator went around the coast of Africa, picked up about 16 or 17 Blacks, and took them back to Portugal. And then the Portuguese turned around then and gave them to the Catholic Church. Gave them to the Catholic Church, and the Catholic Church then said, well, they use them as slaves to work in the Catholic Church. And see, the reason they gave them to the Catholic Church because historically, from all going all the way back to about 200 or 300 AD, when the Catholic Church started getting some power, when they marched into in a traditional way, in the Middle East, trying to take over the Middle East, they stole a lot of things from the Middle East. They got a little wealth and power, and they created the Catholic Church. But the Catholic Church then had become like the safeguarder for slaves, and they were always saying, bring some comfort to the slaves. But in 1448, when they gave those slaves to the Catholic Church, they used them for slaves. And then by 1488, Pope Innocent says, you know what? For the last 40 years, we found a good thing. Henry the Navigator gave the Catholic Church 16 and 17 slaves. We use them to be productive as slaves and guard and all this kind of stuff. And so therefore, in the future, you don't necessarily have to enslave people based on personal indebtedness, prisoner of war, or what else did I mention? The prisoner of war.
Religious persecution.
Religious persecution. He said, this point on, forget those, and now you can have another factor that's even better. Do it based on skin color. And so Pope Innocent put out a public edict in 1488 for the Catholic Church told them to use Blacks as slaves. That's how the Catholic Church got involved. And about 1948, the Pope down in Jamaica, he finally apologized for the role that the church played in enslaving Black folk. Catholic Church had played a major role. Before Blacks came into existence, they were trying to protect people in slavery. And but when they got to 1488, they no longer were trying to protect slaves. They endorsed and misuse and abuse of Black folk. Catholic Church was a main throw, and the Catholic Church started importing slaves all around the United States and into Mexico and different countries. You know what they're going there looking for? Wealth. The Catholic Church in Spain shipped in about 3 or 4 million Blacks just into Mexico. Did you know that? That's Mexico then was called New Spain. Have you ever heard the word New Spain? Mm-hmm. New Spain was Mexico. Nobody calls it anymore. They shipped about 3 million Blacks into Mexico in that area in Central America just to dig for gold, silver, and precious metal, and ship all that back to the Catholic Church. That enriched the Catholic Church to the point the Catholic Church became one of the richest organizations on the earth. And in the United States, Catholic Church is only second to the ownership of land to the United States government. Did you know that? And Catholic Church then Catholic Church was also had their own automobile industry. And they were also the only company in the world that was producing birth control pills. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes, and they always talking about how they oppose abortion, but they own at the same time they were speaking out of both sides of their mouth. At the same time they were speaking out of the side about slavery. That they are the biggest birth control producing factory in the world, was owned by the Catholic Church. And I think it's with Alfa Romero. I think they had their own automobile company too. And they're right in the United States. They had owned most of these buildings and money, schools, and like the Watergate building right here in Detroit, where Nixon got caught. That's owned by the Catholics. Catholics are the second biggest landowner in the United States.
Wow.
I just want to know about the Catholic Church.
No, I think that's quite fascinating, because I think that when you do the reparations conversation and you do it honestly, you got a whole lot of people that owe a whole lot of stuff and a whole lot of property to the people they stole it from. Like even you talk about England, everybody was all excited because that black lady married the Prince Harry. Anybody y'all follow that? Meghan Markle that married Prince Harry, but y'all don't know that actually Queen Elizabeth II is the largest landowner on earth. Did y'all know that? That she's the largest landowner on earth. And y'all know what the British Empire has done to black people. Y'all know how much was stolen by the British Empire. In fact, actually, I'm reading it right here. She owns 6.6 billion acres of land worldwide, including Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Canada, Australia, and a few other spots. She also has the Falkland Islands. So, this is just, they said that she's actually by and far and away the world's largest landowner. The second runner-up is King Abdullah, who owns 547 million acres of land. I didn't know that Queen Elizabeth owned that much land. I mean, and so I kind of think that when you talk about the reparations conversation, it seems like when you really dig into it and you really go deeper than these, things that you're seeing in Congress, you really find that there's a lot that's really old. And if people want to do the right thing, they're going to have to make right by that. And if they don't want to do the right thing, we just have to remind them, when they ask us for something, when they ask for something from us, we just say, well, you didn't do the right thing. So we have nothing for you. We have no votes for you. We give no money to you. We give no support to what you're doing until you do right by black people. Like they said in The Color Purple, until you do right by black people, no good will come to you. So I think that should be our doctrine and our official policy as a people. Until you do right by black people, then black people will not do right by you. I think that's a good way to finish up, Dr. Anderson. What do you think? Right,
and tell them also that the reason they own all that land is because the British and England were the major slave traders in the world, and they were the ones who were shipping black folk all around the world when they became the major slave trader. And as a result of that, since you're in business, you need to know that the Catholic Church, as a major slave trader, they don't want to start what you do when you walk down the street and you look up and see a sign saying Burger King and McDonald's, and that, what that came from? They started the franchising system.
Really?
Slavery was based on franchising, where the British would go into these different countries, take over the land, and then put people on the land to raise crops in foreign England. And in 1667, they enacted what's called the Navigation Act, which means any product that in any country, when the English and British owned the land, they raised the crops, and all the crops had to be put on British ships and brought back to England to be manufactured and resold back to everybody. So that's why the franchising system said, we own the land, we'll ship you over there to these different countries as British and Europeans. We own the land, you can go in there and raise crops, but your first commitment is send it to us. And also, we'll also franchising the labor class for you. We'll send blacks there to work for you. So that was the origination of the franchising system that you now see when you go to get a Burger King or McDonald's franchise. That's where it originated.
Wow. Now y'all tell me if you went to college or even high school, did y'all learn anything like this in college? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Were you learning things like this when you were in school? Were they really teaching you the things that Dr. Anderson's teaching you? Yes or no? Give me a yes or no. Because I know I wasn't learning this stuff. So I want to say thank you, Dr. Anderson.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm taking enough of your time. And one more time, everybody, his website, powernomics.com. Please go to powernomics.com. That should be the one-stop shop for the education of your children. Those books, Dr. Anderson's books, should be on your shelves. He's done the work. He did the research, and I think he deserves your support. Also, don't forget, everybody, please hit the thumbs up button before you go. Make sure you subscribe to drboycetv.com, the home for intelligent black people. Just so you guys know, we are into building industry. And one thing that we do actually have is Boyce Watkins Films. And I partnered with Rick Mathis down in Atlanta to create a film called Young Moneymakers, about young Black people who are making money, building industry, building corporations. Rick Mathis made the film Black Friday. In case you don't remember that film, it was an excellent film. It was a blackbuster, not a blockbuster. A blackbuster. Did really well, just like Hidden Colors did and all that. And we're raising money for the film. So if you want to go check out the trailer and maybe support the film, become an executive producer or something like that, you can go to weyoungmoneymakers.com. weyoungmoneymakers.com. Last but not least, New Orleans, I'll be there next week. drboyceneworleans.com. Chicago, July 28th. That's drboycechicago.com. Also, allblacknationalconvention.com. That's in September. And National Harvest Day. This is the last thing I'm saying. Harvest Festival Day. Excuse me. National Harvest Festival Day. Second Saturday in August. So I'll be in Los Angeles for that. You can go to drboycelosAngeles.com. That's where we're going to put that information. So I know that's a lot of stuff. So feel free to write these things down or rewatch the video. Share it with your family. Please take the video now. Go share it with your relatives and stuff like that, because this is the real conversation that needs to be had in America. So thanks a lot, Dr. Anderson. I will see you next week.
Take care. I'll see you next week now.
Yes, sir. Next Thursday, 2:15 p.m. Eastern, drboycetv.com. Take care.
All right. Thank you, buddy. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. And then thank you guys for wishing me happy birthday, by the way. I want to say